The crypto bull run is here, and everybody wants to be a millionaire in this next cycle. But the problem is, most people don't really know how to handle their tokens in a bull run. Today, we're going to take a look at 6 of my top tips to be successful with crypto gaming in the 2024 and 2025 bull run that we know is on the way. It's mission time. Welcome back, agents. Secret Agent Stash here, and we are at GIA headquarters. And today we have some extra intel to help support you guys in this upcoming bull run. Now, we all know that interest has now returned. We're seeing tons of projects with over 100x gains already, but really we're only in the beginnings of what we would really consider a full bull run. But it is coming, and it is coming fast. We know we have the Bitcoin happening sometime in May-ish of 2024. That combined with the fact that an ETF for Bitcoin or possibly even Ethereum is also still looming. These are 2 huge catalysts that are lining up for 2024 and a little beyond. And so what I want to do today is give you 6 of my top tips for how to deal with a crypto bull run, in particular how to make money and what are best practices in a gaming bull run, what to look for and how to go about this, right? Today, we're not going to talk or focus specifically on any one token, but really just fundamentals on how to look at the market and how you should best be going about setting up a plan for yourself so you can maximize your profits no matter what coin you are getting into. Because there's going to be a lot of winners out there. There's going to be losers too. But man, there are going to be so many winners that you guys are going to feel like freaking geniuses thinking that everything you can do can never go wrong during this bull run. But I'm going to make sure you guys know exactly how to take and maximize your profits. Okay, let's get into my top 6 tips for how to play this crypto bull run we're about to see here. My number 1 tip is probably one of the biggest ones, and it's get in early. Find projects early before they've exploded, before you see big guys like Alex Becker talking about them. Find and research, get in those projects. Now, how do you do that? Everyone always says DYOR, do your own research, but then they don't tell you how, right? So the way I would play this is always get data and research from multiple sources, right? Don't just take one source, but combine them all together in a diverse manner. That's what you really need to do here. Take, for example, influencers. Now you can see here, I follow a lot of people on YouTube and crypto gaming in general, so I can keep up to date on what's going on. I follow a diverse amount of creators. You can see I have a bunch of people here in Web3 that I'm following, and I watch this content, but I take it all with a grain of salt, right? I want to collect influencers and content creators that have multiple different backgrounds or in different ecosystems. They have different thoughts about them, so I can get a better picture. Instead of just listening to 1 or 2, I want to listen to 5 or 10. Now that does take a lot more time, but you're going to get better returns when it comes to this in particular. Or you could just watch me all day long and screw everybody else. No, it really is important to watch multiple people, not just me, not just like a Becker or some of the top guys, but to really diversify in that respect too. Number 2, what you want to do to actually do some research is look at the data. Go to sites like DappRadar that have actual data on these games. Now, is the data 100% accurate? No, but it does give you a pretty good idea of how these games are moving and what is hot, right? And who's actually playing them, what kind of numbers they have. You can also combine that with something like a Dune Analytics, where you have some of these really cool, submitted dashboards that you can go find, in particular for crypto gaming. Then you can even look at more of the social metrics, right? The data behind social, and something like a Luna Crush could help with that as well. Right, going here and discovering, trending topics about your favorite creators is kind of that combination of data and social. And that will be kind of my next one to be looking at, right? What's the sentiment here? What is the current sentiment in the market? Sentiment plays a really big part. It's part of the fundamentals of a project, and it's hard to chart sentiment like sentiment on an actual TA chart, right? But it is something we do want to take into consideration, and Twitter is usually the best place to look at the general sentiment of things. As you can see here, people are talking about Web3 gaming, so hot right now. Alex Becker is saying, it's up only Dursley is in effect right now, right? Which is crazy when things are going parabolic and there's so much euphoria. It's hard to, you know, really stay focused, but you need to here. And then the last thing I think when it comes to tip number 1 here and how to go about finding things early, right, is use your gut instinct sometimes, right? Combine that with what you see here and everything we've talked about, and if it just doesn't feel right, probably not a good reason to be investing, right? It should feel right as well. Now, sometimes you gotta bury that instinct too, but don't bury it all the way where you can't hear it in the back of your mind saying, you know what, maybe this isn't the best play for me. This is not maybe the best play for me. All right, tip number 2 is have a plan of how you will take profits. This is one of the most important things as well, because, you know, profits are great. Everyone's going to be able to make money in a bull run if they buy coins now, right? Or if they bought coins previously, right? There's lots of opportunity to make money, but if you don't take profit, then it's very easy. You could hold those coins till they go to 0, or you could lose the majority of that profit. A good example, and I will tell you guys here, personal anecdote, sand is one of my, you know, larger token holds. I bought sand all the way back here. You can't even see, you legit can't even see where I bought sand. It's crazy because it was, yeah, it's like literally at 2 cents. Wherever that was at, maybe down here, it was so low. But what it comes down to is that I acquired most of my sand in that time frame, right? Around here where it was 2 cents or maybe even a little bit less, around that mark. And I never sold. I never took any profits in the 2021-2022 bull run. And I should have, right? I should have. It was incredible gains, one of the biggest gainers last time. And I kind of regret not taking some profits. Now, the interesting thing here is that there is a stigma in the industry of if you take profits or you sell your NFT, then you're bad. You're not supporting you're not being a supporter. You're not supporting the ecosystem. You're not a believer. And there's all these kind of, you know, negative sentiment thrown around for people who take profits or will sell their NFTs or whatever it may be. Do not let that deter you from taking that profit, right? What it comes down to is you need to have a plan before you buy. This is crucial. This is tip number 2. Have a plan before you buy. If you go into something and you've done your research, but you have no plan on how you're going to play this over the long term or medium term or whatever, you know, duration you're looking at, then you're going to end up missing the maximization of that profit. So you need to, before you buy that token, have a plan. How long do I think I'm going to hold this? What's the idea here? You know, based upon the previous all-time high, if it has one, you know, where would I want to be selling? You know, having that plan is super important, right? Saying, okay, you know what, as soon as it hits X amount, I'm going to, you know, take my initial investment out, so I just have a nice fat moon bag, and there, you know, then I can take profits from there if I need to, but then at least you've got that initial investment recouped, right? So having a plan before you buy is incredibly crucial, or you are going to miss out on maximizing that profit, right? Plans can change, but if you got no plan from the beginning, it is not a good idea and you are going to lose. Okay, tip number 3 is don't chase shiny objects. Don't be going around so distracted all the time. There are so many tokens out there that are popping up, and the big narrative is going to be a gaming token for every dog shit game that is going to be launched during this bull run. Don't get distracted. Find the winners. Do not just keep trying to chase that next coin or that next meme or whatever it may be. There's always going to be another one, right? So if you see something pumping, don't try and chase in and get in because you feel the FOMO, right? Oh, there's another one. There's another one pumping. I gotta get in. Stick to your guns. Remember, we made a plan already in step 2, so stick to that plan. Stick to that plan. And you know, I think that's a pretty big thing to do. So you know, there's always going to be another opportunity. Don't chase a shiny object. Don't chase what they call a falling knife or you know, an ascending candle either. You know, find the good opportunity, and sometimes understand that you just have to let one go, right? Understand, I didn't get in early. I didn't get in that perfect time to get in that really good window. I missed that window. Don't try and force it. That's another big tip, because you try and force it, you're going to end up holding it back. So tip number 4 is watch and manage your liquidity for what you're buying. Because right now we've kind of talked about tokens quite a bit, but NFTs are also going to pump in this bull run. But the problem between buying a token for a project and buying an NFT for a project is the token always has significantly more liquidity. There are more buyers to buy your bags, right? When it comes to NFTs, way less buyers. Way less buyers, right? So you can look here. Here's 30 days of collection volume on CryptoSlam. This is aggregating a bunch of NFT data together from multiple chains and multiple ways. And you can kind of see what that looks like right here, right? So how many buyers total do we really have in some of these markets? I mean, in Bitcoin in general, you're looking at maybe 8,900 people. Even Ethereum, the largest, one of the largest ecosystems for NFTs, only about 50,000 people trading NFTs at the time. So when you think about the opportunity for you to sell at a profit, it may be harder to do with an NFT than it would be with a token. I mean, it just really depends what NFT, how popular they are, how many people are there, right? The bigger top tier NFTs are gonna have probably less people trading them, like your Bored Apes or your Azukis, because they're more high dollars. Your Neo Tokyos, those things are going for 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 ETH. Only big guys are playing that game, right? There's way less liquidity there. More liquidity for smaller NFTs, but in general, always going to be much more liquidity for a token. Keep that in mind when you're buying and when you're making that plan, right? Are you buying that NFT to hold forever and plan to never sell? Fine, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. But if you are looking to, recoup some investment, or you don't want to lose all your investment, or you don't think the NFT is going to, hold long term, make sure you have a plan to get out of that NFT, because the liquidity is not going to be as high as if you just had tokens sitting around, right? All right, we're going to come back here for tip number 5, and that's don't spread yourself too thin. Once again, as we said, there are thousands of tokens in the market right now. There's hundreds of gaming projects. You can see here's a ton of, like I said, low cap ones that are listed here on CoinGecko. It's crazy. There's 4 pages, hundreds and hundreds of tokens. These are just the ones listed here, right? So many tokens, and what you need to do is just focus on a set number, right? Say, I'm going to buy 5 tokens. I'm going to research, do 5 tokens, create 5 action plans before I buy the token. I'm not going to go looking at a bunch of other crazy ones, not too many. I'm going to make sure that those are tokens that have some liquidity there, right? And then don't buy 50 tokens. Don't look at 50 different projects. Get a solid 5 or a solid 10 that you know for sure is going to be good returns, because you've done all of your homework and you've looked at all the social sentiment and you've made your plan, right? The more tokens you chase and the more NFT projects you're in, the less you're going to be able to keep track of everything going on in that project. And there is so much changing day to day in every project that if you can't keep up with it, you are going to lose out on profits. There are multiple NFTs that I bought in the last cycle that are worth absolutely nothing now. And if I had only been following the project a little closer, I would have known when to sell them. But I wasn't, because I was spread too thin. I had too many of these coins in my bags. So I was trying to, this is, and I was pulled in different directions, right? Don't spread yourself too thin. And this kind of goes with this shiny object thing, right? One is like, you see something pumping, don't try and jump on it because you want to get in early, but don't do that for 50 coins, right? You spread yourself too thin, you're going to end up losing on some of them, right? Be a little bit more focused about it. And then as you're focused and you've built out that, kind of system, then start adding some coins here and there. When you start taking profit, you can start adding and rolling into some of those things, right? But don't spread yourself too thin like that. And like I said, when you do that, and maybe you have taken some profit, maybe you can take on another coin. You see something like, oh, you know what? I took profits for this coin. I got it at the right time because I was very focused on it. Now I want to focus on something else, and that's okay too. All right, there we go. My last and final tip number 6 today, is never underestimate the degen mentality. Whereas you'll see a lot of people talking about technical analysis and drawing charts and little lines. Once again, those are data points that you want to look at, but you shouldn't take them as a holy grail of what's going to happen with a token. Especially in a bull market, things won't make sense. I mostly trade off fundamentals, a little bit of TAA here and there, but mostly fundamentals. But even the fundamentals in a bull market are thrown out the window, and people are speculating like crazy. A lot of things won't make sense. So just understand that whereas you may have based something off of the data and there's things out there that can literally, in particular the social element, can really push something into euphoria and beyond anything that makes sense, right? So you can run the numbers for market cap and fully diluted value of the blockchain and all these numerous, data-driven things, but never count out that degen mentality, because these bull runs are essentially fueled by it. They're fueled by it. So that's something you have to take in consideration when you're making your plan here too. And you know, those kind of degen plays that are super crazy can be very profitable, but you know, they could easily end up in you losing thousands and thousands of dollars if you've invested in something that, you know, is literally has no utility and has no use case and has no real game, and it's pumping and it's a meme coin and there's a dog on it and you're like, yeah, let's go. You know, those are the things that are going to try and distract you from the real stuff. So be careful about the degen mentality. Stay focused, right? Find the early opportunities. Have a plan before you buy. Don't go chasing shiny objects. Manage your liquidity, right? Tokens over NFTs most of the time. NFTs have less liquidity. Don't spread yourself too thin. If you can't watch all of the coins and things you hold, you're going to lose out on money. And then never underestimate degens in this industry. So hopefully those 6 tips have helped you to kind of, you know, understand what you may need to do here to get ready for this bull run in crypto gaming. And we'll continue to talk about all the coins and things you might want to be looking at, the different blockchains. But I thought this was a very fundamental video that needed to be had for people who are new, who might be their first bull run. This might be the very first go round for them, and they don't really know exactly what to do either. And so we want to make sure they're going to be in profit too, and we can take care of everyone who supports and loves what's going on in crypto and Web3. All right, agents. Well, that's all we have for today. As always, this briefing never happened. Secret Agent Stash, over and out.
Secret Agent Stash. Secret Agent Stash.